Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And to you guys, it's another Ninjago video. I told you I was going to do this when I did my Ninjago Season 15 video, which is, of course, live. But, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about I guess, threat and loss, and the threat of loss of Ninjago. And really why this animated show was probably my favorite franchise of all time. And it really can go down to a certain thing, and that is exceptional writing, exceptional acting. Really, it's just basically, it's objectively well made when you think about it. All these different things that are happening, you're looking at it and you're like, wow, this is a really well made show. And one of the reasons why it's so well made and why it's so regarded by kids, teens, and adults is because of the chances that they take with this franchise. And of course, I'm talking about Zane, Season 3, talking about Harumi, Season 9, I'm talking about Nia, spoilers, Season 15, all these things that happen. And there's also another topic I want to talk about, which is kind of regarded the, I guess the Star Wars element too. They're like, oh, you can't come back, or oh, you died and they're back, so it destroys their character arc, and all that. I'm going to talk about that. But when I first saw Zane die in Season 3, I mean, I freaking cried. And every single time I hear that music, the dun 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 dun, like that motherfucking beat, and then of course you get all this other stuff with the montage that Zane has. It's so good. It's so good. And the fact that, it doesn't matter that he came back, and we'll talk about it. But then we look at, of course, Nia. Again, spoilers. Nia is, of course, kind of dying, I guess. She kind of becomes one with the sea. And just the way that, again, they frame it and they shoot it when she says, I love you, but you don't hear it. You just see her say it. You know what she's saying. Of course, you have all this other element where they kind of, like, have like a little mini funeral, I guess. You have the scene where Garmadon comes back and really screws with Lloyd mentally, emotionally and mentally. And then, of course, you have Cole falling from the bounty in Season 10, March of the Oni, where it's kind of a slow motion thing. And Ninjago, like I'm trying to say, is that they make emotional things actually emotional, and it makes the audience care, not because it's shot well, or not because it's sad, but, you could show me something really sad, and I wouldn't give a crap. You know what I mean? The reason why people care about things that are sad, and the reason why we have an emotional reaction and response to that, is because of how well it's directed, how well it's shot, the writing that builds up to that. Like in the beginning of Season 15, Maya tells Nia, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Meaning that sometimes people have to do things they don't want to do. Even if they don't want to do it, you got to do it. You got to do it. And that's what they kind of do in, the end. Nia, like, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And she kind of falls off. And again, it's just that thematic through line that happens where you mention something in the beginning and it has a relevant entry point in the end. Talking about the dyad or the Last Jedi, how when you kind of force project yourself, it can kill you. Marty McFly, Back to the Future, doing the hoverboard. Even that hot chick from Bumblebee, who actually kind of likes to swim. She swims in the end of that film. So there's a lot of things that happen, a lot of franchises that have it. But Ninjago, on the subsurface, you get people and they go, oh, that's for kids, or oh, that's just a dumb kid show. But when you watch it, whether your age, you get to those points where, like, I'm showing my buddy Ninjago, we just finished Season 3. I don't think he cried. I probably effing cried. But, it did affect him in some emotional state. He wasn't just like, oh, that was good. He was like, wow, that was really deep or metaphorical or morbid or good. It's just, that's what it is, And Ninjago has such good writers. And, yeah, Season the Fire chapter, Nice chapter isn't the best, but, it is what it is. But the reason that, again, it's so well regarded and so, loved is, again, because you have these elements that normally you wouldn't care about the Ice Ninja, or care about the Water Nia and Zane. But because of the good writing and the relationships that they build with the characters and the way it's shot, it's freaking phenomenal, man. And the way they handle these deaths is fantastic. So Zane, we do know, yes, Zane comes back, right? He builds himself. Nia, we don't know. Cole, he doesn't actually die. So there's all these things where you're like, oh, well, because Zane came back, because Cole didn't die, because we're not going to even mention Nia, but, because Garmadon dies in Season 4, right, goes to the Departed Realm, and then they come back, right, that character arc shouldn't matter because they came back. And no, that's not the case. That's my second part of this video. First part, yeah, Ninjago's really freaking good at making you feel something because of how well it's shot and all that. But the next, and I don't care, I'm going to mention Jesus Christ. I don't care. It's the same thing. Even Luke Skywalker, right? Or Palpatine. People freaked out. They're like, oh my God, Palpatine. Palpatine came back in The Rise of Skywalker. He can't because he clearly died. And that destroys Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader's character arc. No, it doesn't. Really quickly, Darth Vader killing Emperor Palpatine and then Palpatine coming back in the sequels does not retcon anything about Palpatine, nor does it retcon anything about Vader. Vader killed, let's just say, Vader threw Palpatine down the Death Star 2's reactor shaft, not to kill Palpatine. He did it so we could save his son Luke, right? So it doesn't matter that Palpatine came back. It's the thought and the fact that Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, tried to murder someone to save his son. Same thing with Zane. Zane coming back in 4 doesn't undermine what he did in the Season 3 rebooted, because what did he do? He sacrificed himself for his friends, and yes, it was filmed and shot in a very good and well-made way, but it's the thought that Zane had the courage to do that, you know what I mean? It's not about numbers, it's about family. He even says that, you know what I mean? When all else seems inevitable, he's like, alright, screw it, and he gets in there and he basically kills himself to become, you know, to save the ninja. And yes, he does come back, but that doesn't mean that that action was in vain. He still did it, no matter the repercussion. Same with Cole, right? Cole, we think, is dead. The reason why he didn't die is because he's the Earth Ninja. If, Jay fell, or Nia or Kai fell, they would have died. The reason why Cole didn't die is because he's the Earth Ninja. But that doesn't matter, because in the moment, you're like, wow, oh, shoot, he's dead, you know? And it really is just more of a scare tactic and a scare factor or whatever, but it still was pretty scary. But, and then you get Harumi, right, characters in this show that do actually die, because, you get this element where, oh, it's a kid show, they can't die. Not a kid show, animated show. People do effing die, and there's like a few instances where that happens. One more thing for Garmadon. Yes, Garmadon sacrifices himself. Technically, he comes back, but it's a whole thing. But, alright, Dr. Julian, right? Zane's adoptive father, the guy that built Zane, the Ninja, the computer. He dies off screen. Of course, he just dies, in Season 3, what's his face? The guy in the wheelchair. He's like, oh, Zane, I'm so sorry. Cyrus Borg. He's like, oh, I'm sorry about your dad. And Zane's like, well, loss is inevitable. So, it kind of just showing that, yeah, he died, off screen. He's just old age, So that's one death. He ain't coming back. The next would be Harumi, in, of course, Season 9 of Ninjago. She literally just gets a effing building crushed on her. Now, she does come back in Season 12, Prime Empire, as a video game avatar, not necessarily as herself. Harumi, the physical Lego human that she is, dies in Season 9 when a building crushes her. That's what happens. And it's great, She has a really good character arc, she dies, and that's it. It's if that were to come back, if she were to come back, I wouldn't mind that much, but I do think it would have kind of, and I'm not trying to retcon what I just said 5 minutes ago, but there's a certain way to bring characters back. Zane, Cole, of course they're gonna come back. But Harumi, she's not a main ninja. That makes more sense. And then of course we get King spoilers for Season 15 Seabound. Kalmar literally kills his dad, shoots him with a gun. A fish ray gun, still kills him, and he dies in his adoptive son Benthamar's arms. So those are 3 people that actually die, So Ninjago does not pull that stunt where, oh, it's a kid show, no one can die. That's not what happens. Characters do die and come back for narrative reasons. Characters do die and stay dead for narrative reasons. And that's what I love about Ninjago. Apart from the great animation, great action, great story, great writing, great voice acting, great everything, right? The fact that you're able to,